crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with news source, crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with news source scrawlers June 16, 2025 to June 23, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts, global top songs June 13 to June 19, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. Shaky, Sanju Rathod and G-Spark. APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Lael Parry, Yo-Yo Honey Singh and Samar Kaur. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, June 13 to Thursday, June 19, 2025. Ordinary, Alex Warren. Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter. Alex Warren. Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter. Back to Friends, Somber. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. Steam's Hottest Games. Global top selling and top played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list, for Tuesday, June 10, 2025 to Tuesday, June 17, 2025. Counter-Strike 2. PUBG, Battlegrounds. Stellar Blade. Dune, Awakening. CISA's Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. CISA releases cybersecurity advisory on Simple Help RMM vulnerability. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Google's Magenta Realtime. Magenta Realtime is an open music generation model from Google built from the same research and technology used to create Music FX DJ and Lyria Realtime. Magenta Realtime enables the continuous generation of musical audio steered by a text prompt, an audio example, or a weighted combination of multiple text prompts and/or audio examples. Its relatively small size makes it possible to deploy in environments with limited resources, including live performance settings or freely available collab TPUs. US bombs 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Trump hails very successful strikes as he enters Iran-Israel crisis. 2 days ago, Trump casts doubt on Iran's ceasefire request, says Israel is winning. Europe's leaders call for talks, but Iran says diplomacy's been blown away. Erdogan says Israel-Iran war near point of no return, vows to boost missile production. Trump warns Iran to make peace or face further strikes. In the U.S., Supreme Court lets fuel companies sue over California's tough emission standards. 20 days ago, in the U.S., oil companies face a wrongful death suit tied to climate change, as U.S. woman brings first ever wrongful death lawsuit against Big Oil. A forest the size of North America would be needed to offset Big Oil's reserves, study finds. Study, the ocean's color is changing as a consequence of climate change. Vice President J.D. Vance rips Newsom, Bass, and mocks Padilla during visit to Los Angeles, as Vance says National Guard still necessary in L.A., calls Senator Alex Padilla Jose Padilla. Democrats probe FBI handcuffing of Padilla. 10 days ago, Democratic U.S. Senator Padilla forced to ground, handcuffed by federal agents, as Senator Alex Padilla is forcibly removed from DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's news conference in Los Angeles. Federal judge blocks Rubio's anti-trans, anti-non-binary passport policy for all, as U.S. judge blocks Trump passport policy targeting transgender people. Masa Son pitches $1 trillion US AI hub to TSMC, Trump team. Bloomberg reports that Apple executives have held internal talks about buying AI startup Perplexity. Reuters reports that DeepSeek aids China's military and evaded export controls, U.S. official says. NATO agrees to higher defense spending goal. Spain says it is opting out, as Spain rejects NATO's anticipated 5% defense spending proposal as unreasonable. South Korea set to join global race to develop 6th-generation fighters. Eutelsat raises €1.35 billion to fuel European Starlink competition, as Macron says Europe must become space power again. Canada bolsters its measures to protect Canadian steel and aluminum workers and industries, with counter-tariffs on steel and aluminium products, and by new $10 billion large enterprise tariff loan facility remains open. South Korea plans $22 billion extra budget as tariffs hit growth. U.S. housing construction falls to 5-year low as tariffs weigh on sector. U.S. resumes visas for foreign students but demands access to social media accounts, as new U.S. visa rules will force foreign students to unlock social media profiles, and U.S. Embassy wants every social media username of past 5 years on new visa applications. Immigrant graduates earn more than their U.S.-born peers, shows study. Trump says Harvard has acted appropriately and deal could soon be announced. Pakistan to nominate Donald Trump for Nobel Peace Prize. US, mainland China, Hong Kong lead rush for New Zealand's golden visas. All of Ukraine is ours, Putin on Russia's territorial ambitions in Ukraine. Iranian crypto exchange Nobatex hacked for over $90 million by pro-Israel group. Iran's bank SIPA disrupted by cyber attack claimed by pro-Israel hacktivist group. 2 days ago, Iran's government says it shut down internet to protect against cyber attacks, then Iran bans officials from using internet-connected devices. Also Iran asks its people to delete WhatsApp from their devices, and WhatsApp denies Iran's claim that it is spying for Israel. Casino lights could be warping your brain to take risks, scientists warn. Meetings after 8 p.m. are on the rise, Microsoft study finds. Boiling point. Britain's heatwave sparked 4 days of chaos as high temperatures unleashed high tempers across the country. Banning plastic bags works to limit shoreline litter, study finds. Global warming fuels an alarming increase in obstructive sleep apnea cases. ESA satellites create first artificial total solar eclipse in space. Chinese studios plan AI-powered remakes of kung fu classics from Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and Jet Li. Zuckerberg leads AI recruitment blitz armed with $100 million pay packages, as Sam Altman says Meta offered $100 million bonuses to OpenAI employees. AI shows little impact on worker well-being despite self-reported job satisfaction concerns. Trust in AI strongest in China, low-income nations, study shows. Creators say they didn't know Google uses YouTube to train AI. Social media now main source of news in US, research suggests. MIT study shows ChatGPT reshapes student brain function and reduces creativity when used from the start, as ChatGPT may be eroding critical thinking skills, according to a new MIT study. Anthropic study, leading AI models show up to 96% blackmail rate against executives. Scientists once hoarded pre-nuclear steel, now we're hoarding pre-AI content. People with severe diabetes are cured in small trial of new drug. FDA approves powerful HIV drug that nearly eliminated spread in clinical trials. Trump's EPA to reconsider ban on cancer-causing asbestos. U.S. Steel, once America's biggest company, is now under foreign ownership. Wall Street Journal reports that Bank of New York Mellon approached Northern Trust to discuss potential merger. Beijing could use Hong Kong as testbed for yuan-linked stablecoins, Morgan Stanley. China's oil demand will peak earlier than expected, IEA says. Ireland shuts last coal plant, becomes 15th coal-free country in Europe. Rapid cloud loss is contributing to record-breaking temperatures, new study shows. Russian leader claims multiple countries prepped to provide Iran nuclear weapons following U.S. strikes. 5 days ago, Russia tells U.S. not to strike Iran, warns of nuclear catastrophe. In the U.S., officials concede they don't know the fate of Iran's uranium stockpile. Netanyahu says Israel close to meeting its goals in Iran, as U.S. inserts itself into Israel's war with Iran, striking 3 Iranian nuclear sites. In the U.S., the number of abortions kept rising in 2024 because of telehealth prescriptions, report finds. In the UK, MPs back assisted dying bill in historic Commons vote. Supreme Court upholds law banning gender-affirming care for minors, as Supreme Court okays Tennessee ban on gender-affirming care for kids, a setback for transgender rights. With only 8% built, Texas quietly defunds state border wall program. Trump's borders are, immigration raids at farms, hotels to continue. Children are clashing in anti-ICE protests and raids in Roblox. Texas governor signs bill banning Chinese citizens from buying property in the state. Trump says U.S. has too many non-working holidays on Juneteenth. Whoopi Goldberg says Black Americans have it just as bad as people in Iran. Iran reportedly moves to close Strait of Hormuz after U.S. attacks. Axios reports that top Democrats left in dark on Iran strike plans, and Hegseth says congressional leaders told of U.S. attack on Iran after planes were safely out. There is no intel. Trump's attacks on Iran were based on vibes, sources say, as U.S. spy agencies assess Iran remains undecided on building a bomb. J.D. Vance claims U.S. is at war with Iran's nuclear program, not Iran, and U.S. has no interest in putting troops on the ground in Iran, Vance says, and U.S. warns against Iran retaliation as Trump raises regime change, as Trump agitates for regime change to make Iran great again. U.S. calls on China to prevent Iran from closing Strait of Hormuz and disrupting global oil flows. Rubio says U.S. is ready to meet with Iran after strikes, warns closing Strait of Hormuz would be suicidal. U.S. strikes on Iran nuclear facilities see Hamas and the Houthis vow retaliation, as world leaders react. Iran's Khamenei said to pick 3 potential successors as he hides in bunker. U.S. sanctions target those providing Iran with defense machinery, Houthi oil trading. Harvard hired a researcher to uncover its ties to slavery. He says the results cost him his job. We found too many slaves. New York Post reports that Pelosi raked in millions last year and her portfolio outperformed every large hedge fund with stunning returns. New trademark filings suggest Trump may launch wireless phone brand, as Trump Organization announces mobile plan, $499 smartphone. U.S. Supreme Court upholds law allowing Palestinian authorities to be sued over attacks. Israeli officials warn Iran is hijacking security cameras to spy. El Al says to start rescue flights out of Israel starting on Monday, after getting 25,000 applications. Lawyers for drug lords and sexual abuse suspects are one step away from becoming judges in Mexico, as 3 weeks ago reported an ex-convict and cartel lawyers are among Mexico's judicial candidates. Treasury sanctions Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generation leaders under counter-terrorism authorities. Cybercriminals breach AFLAC as part of hacking spree against U.S. insurance industry. Britain's Reform Party unveils Britannia card to lure back wealthiest, and Farage bonanza for billionaires would cost UK £34 billion a year, warns tax expert. Germany's top-up benefit system encourages low wages, says lawmaker. In the U.S., GOP wants people up to age 64 to